Good morning and welcome. Welcome to CSL Greater Boston. We are here live in Medford, Mass, and it's wonderful to see you all. And it's wonderful to know that all of you are at home, whether you be next door, somewhere in the Boston area, or anywhere all over this beautiful world. We are one and we are here, and we are grateful that you're here with us. So, welcome. Welcome each, welcome all, and welcome home. I am Reverend Gina, and I'm blessed to be here as spiritual leader of this beloved community, this family, this beautiful group that comes together to know truth every Sunday. Although we are virtually for the winter time most weeks, we are here in person this week, and I am so grateful. It is a wonderful thing to be looking in people's eyes and seeing that divine light shining back. So it is a gift to be here with each of you, and I look forward to our wonderful message today, which is roots and wings. And we are going to explore this month home. The topic is home. It is living in the everyday wonder of home. What does that mean? What does that feel like? What does it look like? And specifically, we are going to talk about what makes us feel that way, and especially roots and wings. So we've got some wonderful music, we've got some wonderful message, and I am grateful to have you here with me. So as we listen to this first song, I invite you to just sit back and recognize home. We're going to be listening to Karen Drucker's Beauty in You. And I invite you to just really ask yourself, what does that mean? What does it feel like to be home?
I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the child in you, I see the sweetness in you, I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me, I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you, I see the wisdom in you, I see the strength in you, and so it is. I see the joy that's in you, I see your light shining through, I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me, I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you, I see the courage in you, and I see the heart that's in you, and so it is. And I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, I see the beauty in you, I see the power in you, I see the power in you, and I see the greatness in you, I see the greatness in you, and I see the goodness in you now. that's in you. I see the grace in you, and I see the courage in you. I see the courage in you, and I see the heart in you. I see the heart in you. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
And so it is. We are here, right now, as home. This has been our home here for the past, actually, about a year and a half. We have been in this location in Medford. And I love exploring this topic this month because we've been talking on the Leadership Council a lot about where is the next home? What is that going to look like? There's some exciting stuff coming up that we're looking forward to talking about and celebrating and really coming together for that sense of home. And what does that look like in our community? Yes, within our spiritual community, but in our greater community. Where can we bring that light of divine, that light of beauty that we are into the world that needs it? We get to be that in the world. And just there's so many exciting ideas that I can't wait to bring you. So we're going to begin today, as we always begin everything, in prayer. And our beautiful, the chair of our leadership council is going to be doing our morning invocation. So Karen is going to be taking us to that place of peace, settling us into this glory of home. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Gina, and good morning, old friends and new friends and everyone watching out there. I saw that someone very special is watching that we haven't seen in a long time. So, Nancy, I'm very glad to see you, as I am everyone else out in there and in this room. A special announcement next month when we are live in person on December 11th. We are honoring Gina here as installing her as our Reverend. So we will have a special ceremony with a very special guest with a reception to follow, some late refreshments. I'm not sure where we're going to do that yet. We're still working that out, but please save the date for next month, December 11th. And if you can come in person, we would love to see you. So with that, we'll take a deep breath and let it out. And just settle yourself in your chair. Put your feet on the floor. And close your eyes if you're so called to. Soften your gaze. And just breathe. Feel the breath go in and out. In and out. Leave anything behind that came before this very moment, knowing that we are surrounded in love and beauty and strength by this one divine being, this one divine energy that flows in through and as each one of us in this room, out in whoever's watching on the internet, on New Thought Media Network. And we know in our heart that we are home. We know in our hearts that we have the strength and the beauty and the will to be home, to know where home is, to feel at home. Home can be a place, home can be a feeling, home can be people. And as Gina explores that topic this morning, and our technology works perfectly, and each person listening gets exactly what they need from this message and from this service, we know that it is perfect, whole, and complete as each one of us is. Feel that. Take a deep breath in and breathe that in and out. Being grateful, so grateful for this space, for Reverend Gina, for everyone in person and watching. For all of you, we are grateful. And we ground this by saying, And so it is.
Thank you so much, Karen, for that beautiful prayer. And we have our spiritual reading today by our practitioner, our beloved Barbara Epstein, who is going to share some words of wisdom with us.
Well, good morning. First of all, what I'd like to say is just you're mentioning home and what home can mean. I remember the first time I walked into a center, which was, gosh, about 30 years ago in Boston. And it was through just having read a book that made me feel like I wanted to be connected to this philosophy. And I remember at the end of the service turning to the partner I was with at that time and saying, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm home." And that is really the truth to me whenever I am here with this philosophy. And knowing from roots to wings, there's a certain amount of growth that comes in order to feel like we can fly. In order to grow from the book that I love, Lessons from the Source, Tom Johnson, and I recommend it to everybody. I'm going to read a little bit from it. Every time we choose a goal, have purpose, or want some greater good in our life, we demonstrate challenges. This often makes us discouraged, and we say that the teaching of science of mind does not work. But it is working very much indeed. Ernest Holmes tells us that our Science of Mind textbook, in order to have more, we must be more. This means that we have to let go of previous ways of thought and action and identity and more positive and identify with more positive and vital ones. The challenges that come along are there because of the law of our being that has chosen the greater good. If we were already equal to that good, we would already have it. In order to grow, old limiting and negative qualities must be released. They can only be keep us where we are. Before there can be a change in our outer world, there must be a change in our inner world of consciousness. The challenges that we encounter are there for a reason. They are there to help us awaken to the greatness within ourselves. The challenges we demonstrate cause us to make demand upon our inner self, upon the great resources that reside within our being. We are never aware of them when life is free of problems. We must not be dismayed, therefore, when we have a great sense of purpose and are enthusiastically setting forth to meet our good. We can only meet it with a change of consciousness. If we had really turned to truth before the challenge came along, there would be our good appearing in our life easily and effortlessly. The growth would have taken place because we deliberately choose to grow, and therefore we did something about identifying with the truth in a conscious way. So, having read that and thought about roots to wings, I thought about what it was like for me when I first established my root with that first center and knew that I was home. But it also started me on a journey of learning and growing. And eventually, in our learning and growing, we do develop a set of wings because we become more powerful and positive. This is a little brief story that I think really sort of expresses it in some way. The wise sage stood at the end of a mountain. He was at the precipice, and his flock was standing in back of him, and they were shivering with fear because he was at the edge. And he said, "Come, my friends, move closer to me." And they looked around, and each one kind of crept up a little bit. And then he said again, "Don't be afraid. Trust me. Move forward." And they did. They moved forward inch by inch. And he said one more time, "Come on now, move up." And suddenly that they were at the edge of the mountain. And he got behind them and he pushed them and they all flew. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for that beautiful message. We get that chance to grow in consciousness and therefore grow. Those are our wings that we are spreading. Every time we think a new thought, we have a dream, we take steps towards it, our wings are growing stronger and stronger. So as we listen to this song, I have to say, a little self-indulgent on this one. I love this song, and it is true. It says, "Who says you can't go home?" So really be in that place of joy and realizing we always have a choice. We can always go back home, and we get to create what that means to us. So who says you can't go home?
Looking for something I couldn't replace. I was running away from the only thing I've ever known. Like a blind dog without a bone, I was a gypsy lost in the twilight zone. I hijacked a rainbow and crashed into a pot of gold. I've been there, done that, I ain't looking back. The seeds I've sown, saving times, spending too much time on the telephone. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go home? There's only one place they call me one of their own. Just a hometown boy, born a rolling stone. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go back? Been all around the world. There's only one place left I wanna go. Who says you can't go home? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I went as far as I could, tried to find a new face. There isn't one of these lines that I would erase. Lived a million miles of memories on that road. Every step I take, I know that I'm not alone. You take the home from a boy, but not the boy from his home. These are my streets, the only life I've ever known. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go home? There's only one place, they call me one of their own. Just a hometown boy, born a rolling stone. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go back? Been all around the world, and as a matter of fact, there's only one place left I wanna go. Who says you can't go home? It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter where you go. If it's a million miles away or just a mile up the road, take it in, take it with you when you go. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go back? Been all around the world, and as a matter of fact, there's only one place left I wanna go. Who says you can't go home? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Who says you can't go home? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Who says you can't go home? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Oh, who says you can't go home?
And after that, which I love the song, I love the sentiment. How do you not love one? It's just one of my favorites. Welcome, welcome. So grateful that you're here with us today. Again, whether in person or online, thank you for being here. We have this wonderful topic of coming home. Home, what does that mean? And specifically, we were talking today about roots and wings. See, at its best, home is that place where we know we belong, where there's unconditional love and acceptance. There's that strength from knowing that this is the landing spot. That when I come here, I can be accepted and nurtured. Unfortunately, not everybody has that sense of home. But the good news is, regardless of what you had, you get to create it. So there's two sides to home. There's the internal and there's the external. The external is what we're born into. You know, as babies, we are born into this world where we're dependent for everything. And there's no worry. What we need, we get in general. We cry, they get food. They cry, they get a nap. You know, in general, they cry, they get changed. You know, that's the way it works. And as we get older, do we still know our needs will be met? Unfortunately, sometimes we don't always have someone we can lean on in that way. I am blessed in so many ways. For me, when I think of home, it's always been 215. That was what we called it. 215 Saratoga Street in East Boston. That's where I grew up. That was home. That was just that sense of, you know, it was first floor was my aunt, second floor was my grandparents, third floor was us, basement apartment, uncle and his wife. It was just all family. Thanksgiving at our house, we cleared out furniture so we could just put long tables and have 40 people over for dinner. And as insane as I think of that as now, that was home. And just like the song said, I spent 20 years trying to get away. All through school, couldn't wait to get to college, couldn't wait to go do and be and get to. And you know, almost everyone that was around that table is no longer here. Just the way it works, some people have them for so long and some people don't. They were all gifts in their own way. They were all gifts. And, you know, life changes. So now I am at a place of 215. While the building may stand, it's not my family anymore. And it's no longer where home is. Although it will always have my heart. It's not. So what is it now? I'm blessed. Again, I have a beautiful family, a husband I adore, children, grandchildren, let alone spiritual community. And to me, if you don't have spiritual community, you're missing out on life in a way that, you know, there's no expressing what it can be. You know, I got to go home last week. I got to go home to Concordia, where I spent over a decade of studying to be where I am today. See, when I left Boston, I never planned to come back. I've been living in Rhode Island longer than I ever lived in Boston. I never planned to come back. And especially when my family had all kind of dissipated or transitioned, you know, I never planned to come back. And then the call was to come back. So Boston is home. It's always been home to me, and it still is. So we have locations that can feel like that. We have buildings that can feel like that. We have people that can feel like that. When you have a close family member or friend that truly knows you, that knows all the little quirky things and loves them anyway, when you have someone that sees your ups, your downs, and is beside you when you cry and when you're in joy, and loves you equally and calls you equally for both. If anything, they're there more when the tears are flowing. That's home. That's a safe haven. And again, I don't take any of it for granted because there are a lot of people that don't experience that. And here's what I know. In consciousness, anything is possible. We get a choice. So you may not have experienced it or have it now, but you can create the mental equivalent of it. That is what our teaching talks about. You know, thoughts are things. Whether you call it a prayer, when you set that prayer, that intention to attract what it is meant for you, the good meant for you, you call it, you see it, you envision it, You embody it, and especially you know you're worthy of it. That's the most important thing. You have to know that you are worthy of this good. Now, whether that's the perfect partner, whether that's a spiritual community that you want to give love to in a like-minded way, it doesn't mean we agree on everything. Any family is the same way. You're going to disagree. People coming, we rub up against rough edges all the time. But they're people I love, no matter what. I know they want the best for me, and I want the best for them. And we believe in our hearts of hearts that love is all there is. That there is this oneness that we call spirit, that is the creator of all that there is. And within that one, when I hurt you, I hurt me. If I'm holding a grudge against someone, I'm holding that grudge. That other person doesn't know it. So when we talk about roots, okay, when we really get to this place of looking at the roots of where we come from, you know, there's this quote from Ernest Holmes that I wanted to share. All our reactions to life are related to our spiritual convictions. We cannot escape this. Just as a child needs to have confidence in his parents, so we all need the same confidence in the power that is greater than we are. Or we can call it faith. That there is something that I cannot see, but I know it's for me. That it's not about putting eggs in a basket. To me, it's my life raft. It is where I land. It is where I stand. It is where I come from. My faith, it has carried me through more than I can say. It makes me who I am. I am not alone. It is the difference between that child learning how to ride a bike on its own or having a loving parent behind it. Because when we are supported, when a baby is fully supported, they're adventurous. They're willing to go out and they're free. But when they're not, there's a fear. There's an inherent fear. When they're not supported, they don't feel they can. There's something wrong with them as a child. They think there's something wrong with them. But when they are loved, when they are supported, they go out and they can do all kinds of things. And I remember as a child being told that I could do anything. I remember people telling me I was brilliant. I never knew why, but I kind of went along with it because I was blessed. You can do that for other people, and you can be surrounded by people that do it for you. What does brilliance look like? Whatever you're creating. Whether that's music, whether that's poetry, whether that's a meal, whether it's a smile or a hug. That's brilliance. It's unique to you. It's the love that you are, and you're sharing it. So just as we know what home felt like when we go into, your mom's or your family's arms, or your beloved's, spirit is the beloved, and you are the beloved of the beloved. So when you really need that comfort, you can go in. You don't have to go anywhere to feel that love. And that's not a soundbite. That's not isn't that a great concept? It's real. I have gone to spirit in places, in moments of absolute despair, in tears, like a smallest child would be, and just fallen into the arms of spirit. I've even felt the kiss on my forehead at one of my lowest moments. I knew I was not alone. That love comes from within us. There is a heart that on a table does not beat. There is a brain on a table that does not beat. It is that one life that lives and breathes within us that makes it so that we can think, that we can breathe, that we can live. It is love itself. If you don't believe that, go look at the foliage. If you don't believe that, look at the ocean. Look at the sunset. Look at a baby. If you don't believe that there is an infinite creator that wants us to live in beauty, look around. And you can be in the worst mood in the world and see a puppy, and you're going to love it. Like you can't. If you see a baby that's laughing, oh, a small child laughing is like the best sound in the world. It's contagious. You can't help but smile. And you can be in incredible pain and experience that. So that means that those roots are within you. There is nothing external that can be cut down. It's still there. Sometimes we lose our path, but it was in our DNA. It is inherent in us, those roots. And the love that we're given as a child, the nurturing we're given along the life of our lifetime, those roots are absolutely always there. Now, sometimes they're not strengthened. You don't add water to the roots, they're not going to grow, just like any plant. It's about being nurtured and coming to a place of knowing. So we get choices in all that we do. Ernest Holmes said, all are rooted in one life. Your endeavor, then, is not so much to find God as it is to realize God's presence and to understand that this presence is always with you. It is not sometimes with you. It is always there. So home doesn't have to be a place. It doesn't depend on a person. It begins here. That's the basis of our spiritual teachings. But when you live in a world that is bigger, better, faster, more, out there, in your face, to the point that, you're swiping and you're going up, you're even dating services are swiping, let alone you go on Facebook and there's a tweet. What is it, 120 characters? Maybe it's 240 now, I think it is. But the point is it's everything is in your face like a flash of light. Multimedia is like a flash of light. It is a distraction from that centeredness and tells us what we're supposed to look like, what we're supposed to believe. Tells us the fear of the other side. The other side of what? If you truly believe in oneness, and if you didn't believe in it, you wouldn't be here. If you truly believe in oneness, there is no other side. There is yin and there is yang. There wouldn't be a flow without it. It can't all go in one direction. It has to come back. It's the way that it works. There's a flow. Even the oceans, even the water, it becomes mist. It goes back up into the clouds and comes back down again. That's how it works. Spirit's got that. That's above your pay grade. Stay out of the way that it works and just know that it works. So we get choices. And I love this one. This is the Dalai Lama. And it's, we get the opportunity to say, it says, give the ones you love wings to fly and roots to come back, reasons to stay. So we get a choice. How are we doing that in our own lives? Okay? How are we creating a world that works for everyone? Beginning with a world that works for us in that. When you think about the roots that you have, and that's physically where you're creating your home, what it looks like. Are you inviting people in? Are you in that place of family and connection? Are you watering the roots? Are you spending time? See, one of the challenges with online community, and it's become bigger than the in-person. Literally, some of the biggest centers there are half of what they were before COVID. There's a lot of people that stayed home. And it doesn't mean that they're not online. We love you. We're grateful you're there. It is our ministry in a lot of ways. We have our Thursday night conversations, which are great. But the difference is we get to see each other on the Thursday night. at least in Zooms, and we get that opportunity to have that conversation. That's why we started it the way we did, so that we can talk to each other, we can be with each other. See, part of creating that foundation, it's a give and take. We are giving back. Yes, when we tithe, we are giving back to what we believe in. But when we come together, there's an energy. It's a nurturing of a give and take. When you become part of different groups and organizations, even within a spiritual center, when you're on a committee, you're responsible, you're sharing that like-minded thought and energy. You're watering those roots. It is yours. You're putting yourself into it. There is love. It's not a building, it's a concept. It's into that oneness, but it's into you. See, that energy flows and it must come back. That's how it works. What you give, you receive. So it's all putting more love into this community. We do that in the world. What is your spot that you're leaving behind? What are you leaving? If you were to not be here today, what did you leave behind? Love is definitely the biggest part of that answer. What does that look like? It's not about money. It's about who you are and who you touched. It's never going to be about what you own, but it's about owning who you are. What is your purpose? What are your gifts? The world needs them. So it's important that we are in this place of knowing, but we need to know that we belong. That's what that sense of is. When we have those roots of knowing that, it gives us the ability to go out. It gives us the confidence to say, well, I have a landing patch. And what does that look like? When I have the confidence to be able to step out into the world and know that it may not be familiar, but I can always come home. I always have that option. There's always someone that gets me. And again, if you haven't met them, you will. Put it as your intention. Just like you have an intention to get up in the morning and get you when you get dressed to go to work, or when you get this, you said, I'm waking up and doing this, this, and this. Make your intention watering that connection. When was the last time you sent somebody a card, a physical written card? I don't know if a lot of people do that anymore. I still try. It means a lot to get something in the mail. That's not a bill. That's not a political ad. That's not it means a lot when you start, when you're in those places of grief and there aren't words to say. A card out of nowhere is like a hug. What are you putting into the world? And how are you doing it? Because those are the roots that you're creating. Because when something happens on the other side, there's someone to send them back to you. We are a mirror if we allow ourselves to be. And those wings, if you love something, set it free. Have you ever heard that? And when I was 18, I couldn't wait to get to college. I went all up to BU. I went from East Boston to Boston University. It was literally a 15, 20-minute drive. But it felt like the world because I was out of that little bubble. And I was so excited. And here I am back in Boston. It's like, and I never really left. There was always a part of me that was here. So it's not that physical, but there's an attachment and a love for that. See, when I feel like I have to run away from something, what is it in me that thinks it's being held back? What am I running from? Because we're never really running from what we think. It's really what's inside us. So are you running from something or to something that you think is going to be somewhere else? Those geographical cures. Well, when I get there, it'll be better. Well, how do you think you're going to get there? And where is there anyway if there's only one? You take you with you. So there's so many different aspects to it. And there's that mental, physical well-being that we talk about. There is a comfort for some in coming home, and there's a stress for others. I know many people that the holidays, and for me, for many years, it was stressful. Their expectations, or my expectations, because my life wasn't where I wanted it to be. It didn't look like I thought it should. And the other people are going to say this, and other people. When you're secure in who you are, it doesn't matter what people think. It's not their life. And it's not about blaming. So one of the things I want to just show is just like that tree. Where is it? That at the beginning, I have one anyway. A tree, when you think of the roots all tangled up. Home is a very tangled concept. But the roots give us our basis to stand on. And we can water the roots that are working for us. And we can pluck out the weeds that are not. And that's what it really comes down to. It's being in a place of knowing our boundaries. Brene Brown says, participants who put true belonging into practice talk openly about their boundaries. The clearer and more respected the boundaries, the higher the level of empathy and compassion for others. Fewer, clearer boundaries, less openness. It's hard to stay kind-hearted when you feel people are taking advantage of you or threatening you. So it's being mindful that sometimes doing more isn't always the answer. It's knowing what's yours to do and honoring it. It's not about others as much as it is about ourselves. And realizing that, yes, we can come from that place wherever we come from. Spirit is really what gives us those wings, and we can fly. So when you come to the edge of all that you know, you must believe in one of two things. Either there will be a ground to stand on, or you will be given wings to fly. Oh, no. And that is exactly the message that Barbara left off on. And it is exactly one mind, because I had no idea of that. So it's understanding that Spirit's got you. Spiritual community, we have you. Create what you need. Put it in your mind. What is it? What do I want home to be? And make your home that way. If you want to be loved, love people. If you want to be nurtured, nurture people. But know that there are no limits, because Spirit within you are those wings. So thank you for being here and being part of this message today. And our affirmation, there's the roots. I knew I had the roots somewhere, those tangled roots. Our affirmation for this week is, rooted in faith, I achieve my dreams. So if we can all say it together. Rooted in faith, I achieve my dreams. So let's know that Spirit's got this. We were born with those wings. It's time to use them. And the more that we do, the stronger they get, the higher we soar. Emotionally, physically, mentally. And we are here as a spiritual community to do that together. So thank you. Thank you for that. So we are now moving into our place of sacred giving. And you are the ones that help us be able to do that out in the world, out in the community. You are the ones that give us that opportunity to share, to be and do. So thank you for that. And know that you can do that through PayPal. We have our PayPal, that little scan will actually take you there. And you can go right into that, or when you're in person, of course. Or if you need to send a check, just contact us. Information is on the website, and you can contact us. So I want to just go through our sacred giving affirmation. And sorry, just looking for that sacred giving affirmation, which in our many announcements are, here we go. If you can say it with me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. So thank you. Thank you for remembering that we are here because of you, and it gives us an opportunity to do more of this and more events that we've got coming. So a lot of exciting things coming. And some of our announcements, we've got Visioning every Monday, which has been going amazing. We've got a wonderful group every Monday at noon. You can go right onto our website, which is cslboston.org, and you can click on the links, or it's in our weekly newsletter. Our Sacred Circle this week is Rose Martinez, one of our practitioners, distance practitioners, that's been helping us out. And the topic is the power of your smile. What are you giving to people with what you have? You don't have to do anything. You already are it. So Rose is going to be taking us through that. And those are Sacred Circle at 7. We have international love happening every week. It's wonderful. We also have our 4 agreements class that's been going on Monday nights. And that has been, you can still sign up. I can get you last week's if you're interested, but make sure you get to me no later than tomorrow if you're interested in that. Remember, we're here once a month. So today we're in person, and December 11th will be the next time that we are here in person. So we have, it's all once a month for now. For the winter, we're going to be once a month. So we've got some good stuff happening, and we're looking forward to bringing you into that. So I think that's the only other thing I want to mention is Vista. Remember that that's coming up in February. There's several locations to go in person, or it's also available online. So you can absolutely look into that at the home office. CSL.org has more information on that if you're interested in signing up for it. Or you can, reach out to me and I can always get to you and let you know. So thank you for being here and being part of this message and all that we do. Thank you for helping others find the roots and giving wings. Every compliment you give, every kind thought that you give, every bit of it is important. Remember that we are the change we wish to see in the world. All of these sound bites that you hear are not sound bites. They're choices. It all comes through consciousness. Everything happens in your mind first because thoughts are things. And I want to say that I am grateful that there was a peaceful elections this week. I put that out there last week, and nobody knew what we were walking into. Our country has been far too divided. On the outside, we have really been mucking it up. And we are blessed to be in a country that we get to vote, that we can agree to disagree. And this week we got that opportunity, and wherever you stand on it, I am grateful that there was peace. So let us keep knowing that. Let us keep knowing that there is peace at the center, at the core, at the root of who we are, not only as Americans, but as citizens of the world, that we come together in love as the peace, the joy, the beauty that we are. Let us be in that place and know and hold that mental equivalent, knowing that it matters. And on that, let's go into our prayer. So just knowing that right here, right now, there is only one power, one presence, one love, one life, and that this one is right here where I am. This one that is every drop of rain, every bit of sunlight, every leaf on the tree, every baby's cry, every baby's laughter. It is all there is, was, and ever will be, right here and right now. It is perfect, whole, and complete. There is nowhere spirit is not, and that includes me. That includes each one present here today in person, each one online that is watching it at any given time. That perfection, that wholeness includes all. And right here and right now, I claim that peace. I claim the demonstrations of that peace in greater and greater ways. I claim love and the demonstrations of that love. May each one know that peace that they are, that love that resides within, recognizing and watering the roots of choice, and cutting off any seeming fear, any seeming dis-ease, cutting off anything that does not serve those weeds of doubt and insecurity, that the wings that are divinely given, wings of inspiration, of gifts, wings of talents that are destined to be glorious, that each one knows who and whose they are, flies and flourishes with the idea of it. Each one is strengthened and emboldened to live and soar lovingly, perfect, whole, and complete. Knowing that within our community, spiritual, loving community, as it grows at CSL Greater Boston into this new and evolving community of joy, online and in person, knowing who and whose we are as individuals, that there is no bounds. There is nothing spirit cannot do. Letting it be that allness that it is, attracting that light, that love, that joy in new and greater ways in our world. I claim it, I proclaim it, and I know it is good. And I am so grateful for it. Knowing that spirit does what it does, that the universe takes this, the law takes this and does what it does, and it is already done in that one mind. I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this family. Thank you for coming home, each one. And our final song is The Wind Beneath Her Wings, that we may each know, feel, and experience that absolute love as we go into this day, this week, knowing that we are lifted higher and higher and higher, that we soar past anything that we had ever even imagined. So thank you. Blessings and love. Namaste. A beautiful week.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let